Hello, class. Today I am going to review context clues. I believe that this is something that your previous teachers and in 6th grade and 7th grade have discussed with you, but just in case, I wanted to do a short little review. As you know, you are never going to know every single word in the English language. It is just not possible, but that doesn't mean that we can't figure out what words mean when we know what's going on. So those are called context clues. So essentially you are going to be using the information that you know to help you figure out what you don't know. And we actually do that more than you think that you do. And that's what's called context clues. So as an example of that, here is an image. And I want you just to take a moment and think what is going on in the picture. And while you're looking at the picture, who do you see? Do you see any sort of identifying markers that will help you determine where this is taking place, what the people are doing or were doing? And as you do that, you're using the context of what you do know. So many of you, when we did this lesson in class, said that there was a gentleman that was German, that he was a Nazi, and you indicated that you had pointed to the fact that the person was saluting Hitler, and he's in the white. You also told me that there was an American who was saluting the flag and that they were in some sort of race. It looks like it was an older picture based on the clothing. It was an outside location that maybe was like a stadium or a track runner. And all of those are things that we know based upon the picture, based on the context. Those are the clues that we are given. So after you do that, then you take a look and you try to figure out what other questions that you might have. And why is this important? And so we have to look around with context clues to figure that out. So this is actually one of the most well-known pictures and images in sports, and it's Jesse Owens winning the gold medal in the Berlin Olympics. And you might not have known that. You might not have known that that was Jesse Owens, but you did know that the Olympic Games being in Germany during Hitler's reign, there was obviously an opposition to an African-American athlete winning the gold medal. So we might not have known every single fact, just like you're not going to know every single word in the English language, but you are able to figure out, based on context clues, what is going on in the picture. Let's try it one more time. Here is an image that I just want you to take a look at for a moment. Many students will say, oh, I see Barack Obama on a bus, and that is 100% correct. That is President Barack Obama, and it is on a bus. Many students say the bus looks old, and then they immediately say, oh, yeah, that's Rosa Parks. All right, so let's take what we know. Rosa Parks was very famous for the bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, because at that time during segregation and the civil rights before the civil rights movement, she was asked to sit in the back of the bus. And one day after work as a seamstress, she got on the bus and she was tired, not just physically tired from her long work day, but figuratively tired. She was tired of being told that she was less than another group of people. And so she took a seat in the seat that President Barack Obama is sitting in right now, which leads us to think why. That's using our context clues. Why would we be looking at a picture of Barack Obama on a bus? And if we think about the bus itself and who sat there, we can think about that Barack Obama was our first Black president, and Rosa Parks, in many respects, made that possible by choosing and fighting for the right not to have to sit in the back of the bus. So this is actually a picture from the 60th anniversary of Rosa Parks' famous bus boycott. We might not have known that small detail, but based on the context clues in the picture, we were able to determine that that was the bus, that was the famous bus that's currently in a museum. All right, which leads me to this. When reading, we're going to do the same exact things as you do in pictures. When you look at pictures on Instagram and Snapchat and you look to see what your friends are doing and who they're with and you see that they're wearing new shoes, those are all context clues. And we're going to do the same thing when we're reading. And the context clues in reading is they are just hints that the author gives you to help you figure out the words that you do not know. And there's 4 easy steps to doing that. First one is you have to be honest with yourself. You have to read the sentence and underline the unknown word. You need to identify the word that you do not know. After that, you need to think about what is happening in the sentence. What is the context of what is going on? For instance, in the picture with Jesse Owens, what was going on? You had a award ceremony that looks like it was at a stadium and an event. And then for the picture with Barack Obama, what is the context? What is going on? So that's what you're going to do in this sentence, is what's going on in that sentence. If you're reading an article about pizza, what's going on with the pizza? If you are reading an article about Fortnite, what is going on in the article that will help you determine what's going on in that actual scene? Next thing you're going to do is you need to take a 360 look all around the word that you do not know. You need to find other words that perhaps may explain the meaning of the unknown word. It might be that is explained further with other adjectives. It might be that it's saying it's the opposite of something else that you know. It might be saying that it's the same thing as something else that you know. So look around and see if you can figure out, based on the other words around it, if you can figure out the meaning of that unknown word. And then finally, whatever you think that it is, you are going to try that word in the place of the word that you don't know to see if the sentence makes sense. And that's really, really important, because if you go ahead and you put the word in the sentence and you replace it with something that doesn't make sense, then that's not going to work. One example that I like to try is going to be right here, and it's impede. Trying to control everything your teens do can impede their growth. To advance their development, allow them to make some decisions on their own. We are looking for what the meaning of the word impede is. All right, so that's step 1. I'm recognizing that I don't know the word. Step 2 is I need to know what is going on in that sentence. And it sounds like, to me, the sentence is saying that parents that are too controlling hurt the growth of their child. All right, so if I'm looking at it that way, and I'm trying to figure out what the word impede means, I'm next going to look to see around there what is going on that could possibly help me determine the meaning of that word. All right, so trying to control everything your teens do can impede their growth. So something is happening to their growth. It sounds like it's not a good thing based on it. The second sentence saying to advance their development, allow them to make some decisions on their own. So in order for children to develop, then it looks like they need to make decisions on their own. So when they're not able to make decisions on their own, what does impede mean? And to me, impede in this sense means something that it's negative, that it's going to hurt, that it's going to be unbeneficial. So trying to control everything your teens do can hurt their growth. Step 4, I'm putting the word that I think it is back into that sentence. Does that sentence make sense? And to me, it does. So I think that a close definition to impede means to hurt their growth. I hope this helps you today with context clues. Remember that you're not always going to know every single word that you read, but just do your best to look around that word and think about what is going on in that scene, in that sentence, in that paragraph. And I promise you, if you use those clues, you will understand most of the words and what they mean.